You can't blame somebody for their parents doing their job and raising them well. And I think that's where a lot of anger is pointed towards. Like the anger is pointed towards the kid or the young adult who's just reaping the benefits of the foundation laid in front of them. And it's like you can't blame that person. You can't even blame the parents. Like, what are you gonna do? Get mad because they're setting their child up for success, so it's not as tough of a road for them. What's up, Evolvers? Welcome to another episode of Evolving with Edgar. I'm your host, Edgar Martin Jr., and welcome back to episode 6. We got a great topic today, man. This is real interesting, and I feel like this is going to be something that a lot of people might want to give their opinions on. This is what I'm here to talk about today. I got a prop for y'all today. Here to talk about this. Silver spoons. I'm here to talk about silver spoons and the narrative around those of us who may have grown up with parents who were able to do above and beyond for us, and also give a perspective of people who may not have had that blessing in life to, have stuff set up for them to succeed and, just be able to have parents to really do for them like that. So I wanted to talk about this because, ever since, and it was really, where did I first get this thought? I want to say I got this with Bronny James, LeBron James' oldest son, and the idea of people just saying LeBron is trying to live through his son, and he just has everything, so of course he's gonna get drafted high because of who his dad is. He's not even that good, and people were just saying, and they still are saying all this stuff about Bronny, and it's like that smoke is just gonna come with that, whether he was famous or not, as long as his dad was still, in a position of power to be able to put him in certain places that most people wouldn't be in. He's only averaging 6 points, if that, a game really. And people are saying he's still gonna get drafted, because of his name at the end of the day. And when it comes to nepotism with black people, I'm honestly a fan of it. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm a fan of nepotism when it comes to black people because we don't get those opportunities often. So I'm saying all of that to segue back to the point of silver spoons, because Bronny James, even though he's a famous kid or whatever, he's the type of person who kind of grew up like some of us, to where you had parents who did what they were supposed to do in life, and they made sure they got all their ducks in a row. So by the time they had you and your siblings, it's like y'all should have it easier than what they did, which I can gladly say that, I did. Now, I have siblings, and I'm the youngest out of all of my siblings. I think the closest one in age to me is 9 years. My brother Joe, it's a 9-year difference between us. That's the closest sibling in age that I have. The rest of them are much older than me, but and we still have a close bond regardless of what our age is. But they all grew up in the same era, and I kind of grew up by myself. I was mainly around my cousins and my nephew, who's the same age as me, basically. I was around people like that when I was growing up. So in a sense, I kind of had that only child kind of look, because it was yeah, you got siblings, but they're so much older than you to where you're basically growing up by yourself. And it's funny, whenever my siblings listen to this episode, they're gonna agree, but they noticed that I was able to get a lot of stuff that they couldn't get when they were my age. And my parents used to tell them all the time, it's not that we didn't want to do for you guys, it's just we had 3 of y'all at the same time, and we weren't financially where we were when we had, your brother. By the time we had him, we were in a space where we could get him certain games and shoes and, have him do this and that and take him here and there. We just couldn't do that with you guys in the financial situation that we had. And, I'm grateful for everything. I would not say I'm a spoiled person, and I think that's a big misconception. A lot of people feel like, oh, you silver spoon, like your parents just gave you everything, like you're just this spoiled person used to getting everything you want. No, I got what I wanted a lot of times, but I damn sure had to earn stuff too. If my grades were not right, I'm not getting half of the stuff that I got when I was a kid. If I didn't behave myself and act how I needed to act most of the time, I wasn't getting, certain, theme park days, on Saturdays, or, I wasn't getting certain toys or certain games that came out, or I couldn't just simply go outside and play with my friends and stuff if I didn't do what I needed to do. Now, there are a lot of times where I didn't really have to do anything and I did just get stuff, but it's not really my fault, and a lot of people would tell me growing up that, I'm spoiled, and I'm not even just talking about family or whatever. I'm talking about my peers. Like, a lot of people would see that I had damn near all the shoes that came out. People would see that, oh, Edgar is one of the few people that got a car like pretty early, in high school or whatever. And it's like, I'm just blessed to have parents that did for me and continue to do for me, even into adulthood, which I will never feel bad about. Um, but I just think it's funny how this whole silver spoon complex is just, I feel like, really overblown a lot of times. Like, you can't blame somebody for their parents doing their job and raising them well. And I think that's where a lot of anger is pointed towards. Like, the anger is pointed towards the kid or the young adult who's just reaping the benefits of the foundation laid in front of them. And it's like, you can't blame that person. You can't even blame the parents. Like, what are you going to do? Get mad because they're setting their child up for success, so it's not as tough of a road for them? And I see a lot of parents, hell, even parents like that are my age, like some of my peers who have kids, I see a lot of them saying that, they gonna make sure their kids understand what it's like to have to earn stuff. And, I'm not just finna give my kid everything they want. It's your child, totally fine. I get it. There needs to be a level of understanding of how to earn stuff. I totally agree with that. You don't want your kid going through life thinking that everything is just your way. Nobody's going to tell you no. I'm never going to tell you no. Like, I don't believe in raising kids that way. I think, yes, you need to be sure to set their lives up to where it's easier for them than it was for you, because I don't agree in making your child have to struggle for shit. That is the stupidest thing ever, especially with black people. We got to do a lot better with that. Black people over generations, like, we just feel like our kids got to struggle and earn stuff the way we did. And it's like, that's working backwards. Like, no, we should be trying to make it easier for each generation. But also, there needs to be an understanding that most things in life will not be given to you. You have to earn them. So there is a well balance between the two. And instead of silver spoons, you got I would call that the paper plate mindset. Silver spoons and paper plates. That's probably what I'm going to call this episode. Silver spoons and paper plates. You got that paper plate mindset of just everybody got to get it out the mud. Like, my kids got to get it out the mud. My grandkids got to know how to get it out the mud. And you want them to have that mindset, of course, because you want them to be go-getters. You want them to be people that know how to hustle and really earn stuff. But you're never going to get that generational success and wealth by having each generation struggle just like the last one. And I think that's where nepotism, I love nepotism when it comes to black people, because I love seeing people like O'Shea Jackson Jr., that's Ice Cube's son. Like, I love the fact that I see him in movies and shows, and it's like, some people may say, hey, he getting it because he Ice Cube's son. Okay, so who cares? If he can actually act and he's doing good, that's just a bonus that his dad is Ice Cube. And I talked about Bronny James earlier, and who's like a big nepo baby. Tracy Ellis Ross, Diana Ross's daughter. We love Tracy Ellis Ross. Her mother was Diana Ross, so it's kind of like, it's kind of hard for you to just not succeed. Now, some kids that I'm wondering, like, hey, I don't know what they're doing in life, but I hope they okay, are like Michael Jordan's kids. I don't hear nothing about MJ's kids. We all kind of expected some of them to play basketball. That shit did not work out. I guess he just had that kind of talent that it skip a few generations. But like Michael Jackson's kids, like his kids are gonna be successful for the rest of their lives. They don't even have to work really because their dad was Michael Jackson. So there's I understand how people can look at kids who grow up in situations like that as spoiled, or you just had this silver spoon all your life, because some of them do act like that. I am not gonna lie. I've met people, especially I think it's more prevalent with girls than boys. But I see a lot of people who grow up just getting told yes all the time. They have a hard time dealing with the fact later in life that you will get told no. And once your parents ain't able to sit here and just do stuff for you, you will see how real the world is. And my dad was just sure to instill that in me. My mom was sure to instill that in me, that we don't mind getting you stuff. Like Christmas time, we ain't got no problem showing out for you. Your birthday, like even just because stuff, like getting you stuff just because we know how good of a kid you've been or how good of a son you've been now that you're an older adult. And it comes in different ways now. Like back then, it was the materialistic stuff of like shoes and games and clothes and this, that, and the third. But now that I'm an adult, the stuff that they do for me now, it's more adult centered. Like my mom could call me right now and say, we got dinner for you for like the next 2 days. Like, you good with dinner? Shit, I ain't got to worry about cooking. Me and my own fiance, we like, okay, bet. We ain't got to worry for at least the next 2 days. We ain't got to worry about cooking because my parents say they got me, Or like my dad will be like, hey, we got some cleaning supplies over here. Y'all need some cleaning stuff? Like, here you go, So I don't look at that as silver spoon lifestyle. I look at that as my parents are able, even now, to still look out for me, even though I'm a grown man, even though I'm taking care of stuff on my own with my fiance. Like, we doing what we need to do as adults because we're both 26 and up now, So like insurance is on us now, like bills are on us, damn near everything is on us at this point. Anything my parents do is just extra. But it's the fact that they still feel like you and your siblings, y'all are our kids, and we will never stop doing for y'all just because y'all are adults. And I think the paper plate mindset, to go back to that, is like, that's what's wrong with a lot of people. Like, they used to just getting shit handed to them, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, it's not getting handed to me if it's coming from the people who are responsible for me being here. Like, and that's how I look at it. And I get it. Like, some people didn't grow up with the lifestyle that I did. And I think that's what keeps me humble a lot of times too, because although I grew up in a situation, and my lifestyle and my upbringing isn't all glitz and glamour. It wasn't this perfect family story or whatever. Every family has drama. Every family has issues. My family is no more perfect than anybody else. But I did see at an early age, whether it's certain family members that I seen when I would spend the night with people or whatever, or certain friends that I have like in the neighborhood, that I just noticed not everybody is blessed to have both parents in the house. Not everybody is blessed to have both parents in the house who want to do for you and who really like want to invest in you and just set you up every single time for success. I noticed not every household is like that. And I grew up with a lot of peers and a lot of friends and a lot of family members where I didn't see what I saw when I went home a lot of times. So that kept me really humble, because I see a tale of two cities with it. I see the side where, I got friends who are in the same situation as me. It's like, yeah, I got both my parents. They do whatever for me. As long as I do what I'm supposed to do, I'm good. I ain't got to worry about nothing. And then I got friends and family where it's like, hey, I'm really out here getting it on my own for real. Like, if one of my parents that are in my life are able to help, cool. If not, this shit on me really at the end of the day. So I understand both perspectives. And I think that's what's important. I don't think either side should look at the other like, oh, you just get everything handed to you. And then people who do have the blessing of, nepotism or just, I guess, a silver spoon lifestyle. You shouldn't look at people who have less in their situation and look down upon them. Neither way is 100% right. It's just you're born into what you're born into, and you have to make the best of it. And I'm just understanding of the fact that I was in a situation where a lot of people wish they could have been in my shoes. And I'll forever be humble for that. I'll never apologize, for my mom and dad and my godmom and, other family members that are able to do for me and look out for me. But I do understand where, some people look at it like, nah, some people who grow up like that are just too entitled and they don't understand how real it gets when it is just all on them. And I totally understand that because I've seen it. I've seen both sides of the coin. And I truly think that you need a balance of both. You don't want to grow up entitled, but you also don't want to grow up bitter because you just didn't get stuff done for you that you seen. Excuse me. You don't want to be bitter because you seen stuff happen for other people that you wish would have happened for you. I don't know how many times I've heard people say that they want to raise their kids not wanting anything. Like they want to raise their kids to just be able to give them the world. And it's like, damn, like I grew up with some of y'all and y'all was low-key hating on me for the lifestyle that you want to give your kid. The lifestyle that you want to give your kid, that's how I grew up damn near. And y'all hated me for that. Like y'all was low-key throwing shade at me for that. And you low-key want your kid to grow up like me. So why was the anger pointed at me, if you get what I'm saying? Like, I just think about stuff like that. And the whole Bronny James thing of people just shitting on him because they feel like he's going to be successful in basketball just because who his dad is. That's what really made me think about that recently. On top of just like other social media stuff that I see about this topic a lot of times. I think black people as a whole, though, I think we all kind of, rock with nepotism. At least a little bit, because like I said, it does not happen for us often. Like if you have a parent who is a store owner, do not be ashamed to work at the family store until you could do your own thing. Like if you got a family member or a parent, whether it's a parent or grandparent or whatever, who, works with the city, like, and they could get you a job, don't shy away from that. Like, take advantage of those opportunities. If you got a famous, relative that you are close with that, you feel like would help you grow into whatever field they in, whether it's music or entertainment, take those opportunities because it doesn't happen often. That doesn't happen to most people. So like I said, don't apologize for the road that has been laid out for you by the people before you, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's all about, by the time we have kids, like when me and my fiance Denisha, when we have kids, we want our kids to grow up even better than we grew up. And we grew up pretty good. So we didn't grow up perfect, but and I don't even know if I would call us silver spoons, but I can understand if some people would, but we grew up well. We both had both parents for the most part. We both got a good amount of what we wanted in life, and we were just well protected and well raised, and we want even better for our kids. I want to be able to be even better for them than my dad and my mom have been for me. And I know she feels the same. So I think that's what it's all about. It's all about just preparing the next generation to be even better than what we are. So stop trying to, throw shade at the people who are in your age group that may be, in a better living situation than you. It's not their fault. Like pointing anger at them ain't going to help you. Pointing anger at anybody, honestly, won't help. You just have to make do with what you have and just find a way to make it better for, the person coming after you. But that was it today. It was a pretty short episode today. Like I said, I'm probably going to call this Silver Spoons and Paper Plates. I feel like that's a funny title. Let me know what y'all are. Did you grow up with the silver spoon lifestyle? Or did you grow up paper plate? Did you kind of grow up in between to where you experienced both like I did? Hey, I spent the night with cousins where we didn't know really what we was finna eat throughout the whole day. And I spent the night with other cousins where it's like, hey, not only are we eating, but we're going out to eat. We doing this, we doing that. Like I've seen both sides. I've had butter toast, throughout the whole day, and I've had great food throughout the whole day. So it's really about understanding both sides, really. But let me know how you grew up. Were you paper plate, or were you silver spoon, or did you have both? So just let me know what y'all think, man. This was a great episode. I can't wait to talk to you guys again. Remember, to evolve is to grow, and I can't wait to see what phase you go into next. See you next time.